Can you talk a little about the planet itself and what challenges that will open up from a gameplay perspective?
Sure. So the game will ship with 3 distinctive biomes. These are tile sets that are very different in terms of the way they look. So you saw today the lush biome, which is probably the most conventional of the 3, a terrestrial-looking environment. There's also an arid environment, sort of like Dune, the Arrakis desert planet. And then there's a fungal environment as well, which is bizarre in its own way. And each of those have different kinds of alien distributions and things like that, so they're different puzzles to solve as a player. On top of that, there's also the way that we generate maps procedurally can change game to game. So whether it's an archipelago or a continental sort of layout of terrain, the distribution of resources can change. There's a lot of variability. So the map is the first problem you solve and really does represent a character in the game that you get to know and play with.
When it comes to technology and the sci-fi element, what has that opened up for you guys when creating units?
Well, I mean, we get to really be very imaginative, right? So the game is very careful about starting in a conventionally recognizable or realistic scientific stance. So when you land on the planet, it's in a way that somebody who would actually be interested in spaceflight today would recognize and find believable. But from there, we take steps little by little through the game to much more imaginary or fantastical endpoints. So, and these really come out in the military units. So like everything from like gigantic robotic walkers to huge levitating fortresses to like, horrific / awesome alien creations. You get to really embrace the sort of the science fiction part of the game and the military units that you build and the way that your army shapes up over the course of play.
Why did you guys decide to go to outer space with this franchise?
Why not? We have wanted to make this game at Firaxis for a really, really long time, and our fans have wanted us to make this game ever since Alpha Centauri. And it just was the right time, and we had the right team, and David and I wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah,
so finally, they kind of let us go with it, and for us, it represented just an enormous opportunity, and for Firaxis to let us do that was really special, and we've got a great product.
Were there lessons learned and applied from Alpha Centauri that you guys used for this?
Absolutely. I mean, we draw inspiration for this game from the entire legacy of the Civilization series, including Alpha Centauri, but also including the civs that have come since it. So for us, the opportunity to make a civilization about the future of mankind, a civ in space, we created our own unique vision from it. But there's a lot of homage, there's a lot of inspiration drawn from Alpha Centauri. Like we're big fans of that game and think it was a very special product. And we want fans of that product to find a home in this game as well.
What do you think fans will be most excited about when it comes to exploring outer space?
There's so many different things. I think for us, outer space is a very strange place. And we wanted to communicate that strangeness to the player. We also wanted to communicate how tenuous it would actually be to land on a new world. So playing the first 50 turns of Beyond Earth is a lot different than playing the first 50 turns of Civ because it's hard. You have to really, the aliens are mad and there are hostile, other civs there, and there's a lot more you're sort of dealing with. So we hope that gets across to the player, this feeling of wonder and mystery and how tenuous you are when you first get there. And then the cool science fiction stuff that they can use, the foundation that we're providing to build these fantastical stories. One of the greatest things about Civ is its ability to let players tell their own stories. And we hope that they get to tell new ones with this game.
What way do you like to play the game with so many choices?
I really enjoy the purity build. I like to make my cities into these sort of massive fortresses with terraformed land and perfectly controlled borders, and then sort of to turtle up and eventually put together these gigantic fleets of these flying fortresses that purity can make, and just kind of glide across the landscape and scour the planet of the pesky aliens and so on. I just find that playstyle very satisfying, that sort of blunt force, overwhelming power kind of perspective. But that's just me.
And what about you?
Oh, I like the Supremacy build myself. Supremacy is all about battlefield geometry. So if you're a tactical player in Civilization, that's probably the build for you, because individually each unit is kind of weak, but they work together based on where they are positionally, within your ranks to be the most effective. So it's a finesse tactical game that you can play, and you combine that with the orbital layer, it's really fun.